So, meatbags.
We're doomed!
Doomed! Doomed!
It's time for the comeback of Riley. And in this video, it appears that having civil discussion is not cutting it for Riley. Let's dive in, shall we?
Hey everyone!
Riley, how the hell are you? You do something new to your hair, you look a little different. You kind of look like an old lady right now, sir.
So if you've been on the internet at all in the last couple of weeks, you've probably seen a lot of discussions about civility in politics.
Riley, you gotta know right here and now that we can be plenty civil. It is that the left can't be civil in this condition right now. It would seem that they don't want to be civil or have a civil discussion. Now, please carry on with this rambling of how the right is not being civil, while the leftist Antifa fucks, destroy public property and vandalize buildings and pretty much attack random ass people.
If you follow me on Twitter, I'm sure you know how I feel about this, but I wanted to round up all of my thoughts on civility into one video. But before you watch this, go watch my video on everything that's been happening with the children being separated from their parents at the border.
Oh shit! The fuck are you doing? I'm sad as hell.
Look, it is sad to see children separated from the families. However, it is their fault for trying to come into a country illegally. It's the same everywhere else. If you're American and you try to go to England, God knows why, you'll still be detained.
I think it's possible to discuss multiple issues at once, but I do want to make sure you're aware and caught up on what the Trump administration has been doing at the border. It's heartbreaking.
Feelings!
Again, we come back to the emotional outrage at the border. Riley, this has been going on way before Trump and has been happening during the Obama administration, but you can't say that because that will unravel your whole emotional bullcrap crocodile tears. So please stop fake crying over this shit.
And needs your attention, and there are organizations fighting the Trump administration's policies that need your support.
Oh, you mean like these guys?
You're goddamn nigger! You're fucking nigger to the white man! You are the nigger! You are the nigger! You are one!
We got Mason.
We love you, Clementine! We love you, Clementine! I love you, Tony! I love you, Tony!
Fuck you guys! Fuck
Love
you,
you,
Tony!
Tony! We love you, Tony! We love you, Vivian!
You're a fucking traitor!
As the one who said thank you to being a Nazi!
Master gives you an order, you follow it. You fucking put brown black people in cages. You're a fucking nigger.
Look, they're transporting the kids. Fuck you! This is the bus. This is the bus that takes the detainees up to Jerusalem. Look how stupid he is. He fucking faced himself. Fucking idiot! This is the bus. This is where they take Hey! Who do you serve? Who do you serve? Who do you fucking protect? Who do you serve? This is what they do, these Nazis. Look, get a look at Who do you serve? Get a look at each one of their faces.
Yeah. You're doing great! Good! Then I'll keep it up!
So anyway, how did civility become the recent thing that everyone is talking about?
Really?
Maybe it has something to do with this?
Well, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Trump's press secretary, went to a restaurant called the Red Hen.
I don't like where this is going.
The owner knew that Sanders' presence made a lot of her staffers uncomfortable, so she asked them all what she should do.
Stop!
And they voted to ask Sanders to leave. So the owner of the Red Hen politely asked Sanders to leave, and she did. But soon after, she started complaining on Twitter from her official government account about how she was asked to leave the Red Hen.
You unbelievable cunt! You have left a crucial part of the information out where the owner of the Red Hen gathered a mob and followed her to the other restaurant she relocated to and tried to get her kicked out. You blatantly left this part out to your viewers. You lying sack of shit. And you wonder why we call for civility in nowadays, where your side a mob out of no goddamn reason other than to harass someone they do not like.
Obviously, the people who worship the Trump administration, regardless of what they do, were quick to jump to her defense.
Are you fucking kidding me? You are asking us where the civility is. And not to my surprise, you are a miserable cunt right now. To think it's okay for someone to harass someone in a restaurant and demand that they leave. And they do leave and then form a mob and harass them outside of another goddamn restaurant. This is the new political era right now, where it's now okay to just harass someone because of their political views, and it'll be okay if you are liberal. Because if you're liberal, you have the right to be a total and complete dipshit hypocrite. Like you are being right now, because she is someone you disagree with, because she is a part of Trump's administration. It is okay for what has happened to her and her family. And you sit there and ask where the civility is.
They asked where all the civility had gone and why Sanders was being treated differently just for political views.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Riley, you are unbelievable, because it was totally about political views. It was a political view that had her removed from the facilities, and then it was a political view to go and harass her in a protest march to get her removed from the other restaurant. And if she went to another one, guess what? They probably would have followed her ass there. Because you see, Riley, you want to sit there and talk to us and bitch, cry, and moan and goddamn complain on how your life is such a fucking tragedy. Yet you turn a blind fucking eye to your political opponent when they are harassed, when they are harmed, when their family is threatened, when their lives are broken. You don't give a flying fuck about your political opponent. You are a disgusting creature and not even worthy to be called a meatbag. You are sludge.
They began harassing not only the Red Hen restaurant in Virginia where Sanders went, but several other completely unaffiliated Red Hen restaurants in places like DC, Connecticut, and New Jersey.
However, it's completely fine of boycotting Chick-fil-A because they don't like homosexuals marrying, and now people are just doing a smear campaign against Chick-fil-A and calling everything they've ever donated to anti-gay establishments and organizations, which is full of horseshit. Yes, they should have boycotted every single Red Hen in the known area or whatever, but if I remember correctly, liberals boycotted Starbucks because of two black loiterers who were told repeatedly to get out or order something and they could stay, and they told them to fuck off. Then the police came and they told them the same fucking thing, and they told the police to fuck off, and then they got arrested for loitering. Motherfuckers protested and boycotted every single Starbucks in America. So it's not that incomprehensible that people will boycott a thing for doing fucked up shit to another person because of who they are, because of their political views.
The DC Red Hen was even egged, and many of them have received a death threat.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
This is serious.
I know. This really is the world's smallest violin. See?
Wow, Riley, it's like violence begets violence. Who'd have thought? When the owner of a restaurant starts a harassing campaign in broad daylight, it's gonna start people to do the same exact fucking thing she was doing to the person she was harassing. I feel no guilt nor pity for the owner of the restaurant. They begat these harassments and death threats because they harassed and threatened Miss Sanders.
But where is the civility for Sanders? Since then, Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen and White House advisor Stephen Miller have both been booed and heckled out of Mexican restaurants.
my God! Stop!
Look at your smug fucking face. You are gleefully too fucking happy that these situations have happened because of their political views, because they are a part of the Trump administration, which means you must hate them. So you don't give a flying fuck that this whole thing is happening to these people. You don't care. And we can plainly see it as you are grinning from ear to ear in a completely different fucking country. So why the fuck are you so into the United States political atmosphere? You do not live in the United States anymore. So why do you give a flying fuck? You know why you give a flying fuck? Why you are so giddy and why you're just purely laughing your fucking ass off making this is because you hate these people. You are reveling in their misery and their harassment. You want to ask where civility is? How about you turn the fuck around into the burning corpse that is the new liberal agenda? Old liberals are trying to defend what libertarian means. But you people have now co-opted into basically just harass and do harm to your political opponent, which is the reason why the other side is fighting back. You have done this since Obama got into office. For the 8 years he has been in office. And now people have fucking gotten tired of it. That's why Trump is in office. That's why people are fighting back. You are the sole cause of this whole situation.
And again, Trump's loyal supporters ask, where is the civility?
Say, can you do me a favor? You see that fire extinguisher there?
Dad, that's enough! Dad, that's enough! That's enough, Dad!
Then, California Representative Maxine Waters urged people to push back against members of the Trump cabinet and, quote, tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I am at the point of anger where I just can't believe it. Of how incredibly I just don't have any words. This is just god awful. I have never seen someone so blatantly okay with attacking their opposite side and only seeing that their opposite side when they are attacking in return as them being the victim. The victim complex has come full circle, people, where no matter how you look at it, they will always be the victim, even if lit the match that started the fire.
When she got death threats from the Trump supporters who apparently want civility, she got on stage at the Families Belong Together rally in LA and said, if you shoot me, you better shoot straight. There's nothing like a wounded animal.
Well, she's not dead yet. It seems like it was just empty threats out of some trolls. Then again, you'll just use it as ammunition to boost your agenda. What happened to her was wrong. She shouldn't get death threats like that. Okay, but we're not talking about trolls. We are now in a political climate where violence begets violence. When someone is harassing someone on the other political side, that political side will harass the other. It is a vicious cycle, and the ones who are calling for civility are the only ones who have level heads and want to sort things out. You are not that kind of person who wants to sort shit out. You are the kind of person who wants to fan the flames, as this video is clearly evidence of that. I call for civility. I want debate. I want discussion. I don't want to go out and punch someone because they don't believe in what I believe in. We get nowhere with this. This is why we need civilized discussion, why we need civilized debate. The reason why we don't have this is because of this vicious political climate, where the left will stifle and stop and deplatform anyone they see as bigots, Nazis, or people that should not be heard, as evidence of years ago with Milo Yiannopoulos and with the Trump inauguration, where Antifa basically almost destroyed parts of Washington. Now you are the kind of person who wants their cake and eat it too from across the country. So I will tell you to stick your nose out of a business that you have no part of being in. If you don't want civilized discussion, which you really don't because you want censorship of people you disagree with, or things you considered as hate speech or things that need to be censored, you are the person that we say will never have a civilized discussion with. So when we call for civility, we mean a civilized discussion, not this back and forth bullshit of harassment and death threats.
And like, can we all just take a second to appreciate Maxine Waters? She is a 79-year-old black woman. I cannot imagine the shit she's gone through.
I'm about to say something really bad. She asked for it. When you tell your fellow compatriots to basically ostracize, demonize, and basically kick out anyone you see that doesn't agree with you out of pretty much everything, you're gonna get shit flung at you. I don't pity this woman because she started the whole fucking thing against her. She shouldn't have gotten death threats, but hey, if she promotes violence against people, she's gonna get violence thrown back at her.
And yet she's out here fighting for what she believes in, still after all these years using her energy to fight for civil rights while conservatives threaten her, and many liberals are too afraid to support her. The
Oh gee, I wonder why.
President of the United States is trying to portray her as an angry black woman trope.
Citation fucking needed.
Meanwhile, members of her own party, like Chuck Schumer, are distancing themselves from her.
Because this is a clear case of career suicide, and no one wants that when you advocate to push out the opposition from everyday things, including gas station, restaurants, everywhere in the public. That's calling for violence against your opposition.
So all of this has culminated in Republicans getting to act all high and mighty, pretending to be the most civil people on the planet, while Democrats are debating if it's okay to be a little rude to Trump's administration.
This is you, Riley J. Dennis. You are so high off your own fumes you can't see straight. And, getting a group and harassing a cabinet of the office, that is not a little rude. That is extremely rude. In fact, what if one of the goers in this little harassment campaign of hers from the Red Hen went a little too far and, actually did more than, harass her? What if they took a little too far, maybe beat her up a little bit? Take the case of in San Jose when Trump was still running for office, that one lone woman was being egged and assaulted by a massive protest. And then the media tried to blame it on her, that it was her fault that happened. A mass group of individuals targeted one lone individual. However, it was totally fine to blame the victim this time because she was a Trump supporter. You are a disgusting individual, Riley. A very disgusting individual.
Let's talk about this in 3 parts. Number 1, the Republican Party doesn't get any sort of high ground when it comes to civility. For as long as I can remember, Republicans and conservatives have mocked political correctness.
Because political correctness has gone so far up the deep end, no one knows what is real and what is fake. I mean, just look at what your community is. Oh, let me say that again. Your quote-unquote community. Where people can change their sex at a moment's notice. They can be whoever they want to be. They can be a fucking helicopter for all they fucking care. That is the climate that this political correctness has formed. And now no one can take it seriously. Then there's the gullible idiots like you who just accepts this and goes along with the flow. And then eventually you're going to be called the bigot for not understanding well enough. Political correctness has become the butt of every joke known to man now, because it has gotten to the point where it's just not believable anymore. where now everyone is basically a Nazi if you don't agree with them. New liberals have now taken over what liberal is. Old liberals are now considered alt-right in the new eyes of the new liberals. That is how far political correctness has gotten. No one takes it seriously because it can't be taken seriously in the hands of you. It has also gotten to the point where it basically just censors everything because it has to be politically correct. Everyone has to walk on eggshells in order not to offend someone, and so they don't lose their job or have their entire life ruined.
And made it a point to go out of their way to offend and insult people.
It's funny because it's true.
Conservative icon and piece of horseshit sculpted vaguely in the shape of a human, Jordan Peterson.
Hey dipshit, your hypocrisy is showing in the video. It's like in every video your hypocrisy is showing. And also, Jordan Peterson is a classic liberal, you dumb fuck. A lot of good that college education done for you.
Made a whole career out of not being civil towards trans people by not using their correct pronoun.
And another thing of twisting the whole thing, he was actually against the bill that forced people into using the pronouns, or you would be sent to jail for it. And if you think that is a logical punishment, again, you are not the one we're going to have a civil conversation with.
Trump openly mocked a disabled reporter early on in his campaign, showing a major lack of civility, and Republicans still backed him.
It was wrong. Can we move the fuck on, please?
He encouraged his supporters to beat up protesters at his rallies,
Citation needed!
going as far as to say he'd pay their legal fees, and Republicans still backed him. He word for word said, "If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you?"
Congratulations, you found one evidence that happened. However, you're not denouncing the left promoting violence against the right or Trump supporters. So I'll call out Trump to saying that was wrong of him to do. However, you won't call out your side for it. That's the difference of being civil and not being a complete dipshit.
Seriously, okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. And Republicans have the gall to pretend that they have civility?
But you do, Riley. From your ivory tower, you have every right to do it. Because you're quote-unquote marginalized. It's okay for you to be a complete asshole, dipshit, and do whatever the fuck you want.
And it's especially ironic for me personally, since I've had so many conservatives in my mentions for the last couple years telling me to kill myself, insulting me, misgendering me, dead-naming me. And now all of a sudden they want civility?
Hey Riley, I know the hormones are getting to your head, but maybe you should talk to people who want civilized conversation and not people who want to bash your fucking skull in. Because the trolls online are not the majority, they are the minority. Just like how you're saying how your liberal side is not the minority and not the majority. However, that is the complete and exact opposite. If you really want to find civility and have a decent conversation, how about actually reaching out to people? How about you reach out to people that you disagree with and actually have a conversation with? You don't, because they will fact check you every time. They will not only most likely shut you down at every possible notion you come up with, you will come out wrong and it will shatter your reality. That's why you don't have this conversation, because you like the echo chamber. You like agreement. You can't handle disagreement or you will cry and come into the fetal position. That is how every last one of your videos is structured, as if you are about to go into the corner and cry yourself into your cock-shaped pillow.
They want to be treated with a kindness they've never afforded anyone else because life is just so hard for them.
I know this is a hard concept for you to wrap your mind around. It's respect is given, not earned. So when you basically spit in the face of your political opponent, usually those political opponents usually spit back.
When they have control of the presidency, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. That's just hilarious.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
So what you're saying here is the people in power don't deserve kindness, compassion, empathy, or human decency. So you are in complete agreement that these people need to be ostracized by the public.
I can't do anything but laugh at that. For so long, conservatives have rallied against political correctness and the evils of having a base level of respect for people because it didn't affect them.
PC culture has now become bitching, whining, and crying and demanding respect for bullshit arguments, and it's okay to be incredibly racist and bigoted towards white men.
And now that the tables have turned, they want everyone to be unwaveringly kind to them no matter what.
What do you mean when the tables have turned? This has been like this for years now, where people just randomly attack white people or people that are with Trump. This has been going on for a while now, and you are just giddy with glee to see that these people are being harassed because you don't like them.
Nah, sorry, it doesn't work like that. If your party is vitriolic at its core, you don't get to act high and mighty when it comes to civility just because the press secretary couldn't eat at a single restaurant.
Where am I in crazy town? I have had enough of this nonsense!
She's the freaking press secretary. I think she'll be okay.
It doesn't matter of who she is. What happened to her should not have happened. Here you are again, Riley, just standing on your soapbox preaching as if this is gospel. I have never seen a more hypocritical person or a hypocritical video in my entire robotic life. Because in this video, you have bitched and cried about how one woman on your side got harassed and death threats. However, it is completely fine for Trump's administration to be harassed because she's a press secretary. She can fucking handle it because she's a part of the Trump administration. So how about you go fuck yourself? Because it would seem that you do not give a flying fuck about civility in the first place. You are the kind of person who does not care and want to punch down at anyone who does not agree with you. You look down on anyone that disagrees with you. That is how far you have fallen. That's how far you are going to be. In this very video, you are suggestively advocating for the violence towards your political opponent. Harass them in the streets, harass them in their homes, harass them in public. You are a disgusting creature. Again, you are sludge.
If anything, her going on her official government Twitter account and complaining about the red hen, which put it in danger from aggressive Trump supporters.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.